Hello, I'm Erin Ponte.
Here with Taylor Knocker. Today we have reports from all over the world, an inside scoop from a well-known administrator, information on the Roberts vs. UHJCs, and some very interesting school activities.
We also have a very interesting broadcast on a famous actor, and finally a large debate on gun control. Let's get started.
First we have Catherine Hernandez with information on the best school in Malvern County, Smartsville Middle School.
This year was most definitely not a relocation year for 8th graders. Students received the opportunity to enjoy numerous field trips throughout the year. From Maryland to Pennsylvania, students surely enjoyed a satisfying trip, but we shouldn't forget the moments spent here at Smartsville Middle School. Our first destination was Adventure Park, USA, Maryland. The majority of students attended, but a few preferred a school day instead. For the students who did go, they all followed instructions according to their chaperone. They also had a whole day of fun with their friends. Once the day had finalized, students boarded the bus and headed back to the school. The 8th grade dance was another spectacular activity. Each student interested was required to bring $10 in order to attend. The theme chosen was Neon Night. Students enjoyed everything the event had to offer, from the food to the music. And not to forget the Skittle shot cups provided and cupcakes with no Crisco icing. Overall, the night was a complete success. To wrap up our list of activities, students associated with the music departments had the opportunity to go to Pennsylvania. Through assessment skiing in Pennsylvania, students would then pass the rest of the day at Hershey Park, and the park staff served lunch in the afternoon. The day was quite humid, but then cooled off with a slight breeze as the sun started to set. Students then boarded their buses at 8 o'clock p.m. and arrived back at school around 11:40 p.m. What truly made all of these events a shining success was the cooperation by the students. Their effort was a grand assistance for having the event start. In conclusion, students had a thrilling 8th grade year.
Smartsville Middle School is definitely a school to watch.
We all know about the World Cup, the biggest world soccer tournament presented by FIFA, but did we all know about their harboring secret?
Over to Catherine Jones with some more news on FIFA.
The Federation Internationale de Football Association has recently been indicted by the U.S. government for charges of bribery and fraud. People have always thought that FIFA was corrupted, but this is one of the first times anything has been done about it to put an end to it. Though 14 high officials were arrested from their hotel in Switzerland due to the charges, current FIFA president Sepp Blatter wasn't among them. People have said that they agree with the allegations that are being taken against the corrupted officials and hope this will set a reform of the world's favorite soccer.
Catherine for that informative broadcast.
Now over to Katie with more information on one of the most famous actors, Robin Williams.
On August 11, 2014, Robin Williams, an incredible actor and comedian, was found dead by his assistant. At 65 years old, he brought joy and laughter to people, many through his films he acted in. Some of his most popular being Good Will Hunting, Aladdin, and Jumanji. His death has been ruled a suicide, and doctors believe he used a belt to hang himself. The question everyone is asking is, what triggered this? It has been recently discovered that Robin Williams suffered from a disease called Lewy body dementia. LBD is the second most common type of dementia after Alzheimer's. Its symptoms include hallucinations, lessened alertness, and/or drowsiness. Today we say goodbye to one of the most influential and amazing men of this century. Goodbye.
Robin Williams is deeply missed.
Smartsville students have been buzzing about the recent assignment in English, the 8th grade speech. Here's Taylor with more on it.
Recently, Smartsville 8th grade students were assigned to write a speech. There were numerous topics to write about. Letter to your future self, 20 years from now, a happy place, and goals for high school. Or someone who influenced you. One of the other English teachers would call your name for you to go up on the podium on the auditorium stage and present. About 15 speeches were presented to each class. I was told by students who presented their speeches that it was a nerve-wracking and beneficial experience. The majority of the 8th grade classes wrote about the advice to 6th or 7th graders, or a letter to the younger selves. I hope the students who are nervous conquered their public speaking fears.
Thank you for that information. The biggest debate in this packed 7th block class is coming up, right after this commercial break.
Hello, Catherine. How have you been?
Doing well. I've been thinking about how long it's been since I've had some real fun.
Oh, me too. I think the last time I had a good time was in 8th grade. Oh, ladies, do you remember the 8th grade?
No, not really.
I don't either. It's been so long.
Here you go. I found your 8th grade yearbooks. Why don't you take a look?
All right, now.
miss those days.
Looks like you all had a great time in 8th grade at Smartsville Middle School.
We did, didn't we?
It's a good thing we got the yearbooks.
Get your yearbooks now.
For only $35, get yours today.
Welcome back to Smartsville Student News.
Next up is a debate analysis with Catherine Jones.
Our class debate on gun control is coming, so everyone should be informed about the sides. Pro-gun control, whose side is for more government gun control to prevent accidental murders and to make it harder for criminals to obtain guns. The opposing side is anti-gun control, and their argument is that any restriction put in place wouldn't help, but instead make it harder for people to defend against criminals with guns. Gun control is a very heavy topic, that spawns heated debate. Make sure you stay informed.
Gun control is a heavy topic.
The Supreme Court case Roberts v. U.S. JCs on women's rights is next with Katie Hess.
In 1984, the U.S. JCs, an all-male organization that works towards civic growth and leadership skills, refused to allow women to obtain membership to their group. One day, a few local Minnesota JCs allowed women to join. One of the women was Kathy Roberts. When the national JCs found out about it, they undeclared the locals' memberships. Soon, the Minnesota Department of Human Rights found out and ordered the JCs to stop discriminating against women. Due to this, the local JCs were threatened with expulsion for allowing in women. Soon after, the state of Minnesota passed a law forbidding discrimination in public places and organizations. In 1964, Congress banned discrimination due to someone's gender. The JCs, however, did not follow this rule until 1984, where they finally voted to include women in their organization. The U.S. JCs are still together today for both men and women.
Well said, Katie.
Next, an interview with Dr. Luckett, a big influence on Smartsville Middle School and an even bigger influence on 8th grade.
We went to her to find the inside scoop on her thoughts.
Who's been the biggest influence on you this year and why?
Mrs. Lewis has been the biggest influence on me this year. She is supportive, and she's teaching me things, processes, and protocols that I'm not familiar with in this position. And she cares about me as a person as well as a colleague.
How do you want people to remember you this year?
Well, I hope that I'm remembered for being caring and working hard for students, and not just as students, but as people. I want to be remembered as an advocate for kids.
What has been your favorite memory this year?
Oh, watching students grow into who they are, participating in the process of young people as they become.
What did you do this year to better your community?
I'm going to work at being more present for students. There are many aspects of this position that could overshadow the most important thing, supporting students. And I want to make sure that I'm working on this aspect of my role consistently.
What advice can you give to upcoming 8th graders?
Yeah, I think the most important advice is to not be afraid to take a risk. Do not be afraid to stand up for what is right and good, and help those who can't stand up for themselves. Be a positive voice.
How do you view the 8th graders this year?
I love the 8th graders. I know how hard they're working to be the best people, individually and collectively, that they can be.
What has been your favorite part of helping the 2019 class through middle school?
Laughing with them about all the crazy moments. I won't ever forget how they helped me celebrate my 60th birthday last year. Best birthday ever. Honest.
Thank you.
We are so glad you could join us. I am Taylor Donglin.
And I am Erin Ponte. We are signing off Smartsville Student News. Everybody stay safe and stay on top of current events. They may help you down the road.
Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good afternoon.